All right, what's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me and you can hear me. Great to see everybody here. And there's a ton happening right now in the world of crypto and blockchain and Bitcoin, because right now, as of our last count, 113 public companies are now putting Bitcoin on their treasury. What does that mean? Well, companies typically hold cash. Maybe they'll hold some of their own stock, but they rarely hold anything else. And now 113 publicly traded companies are now opting into Bitcoin. Now, you probably heard of a guy named Michael Saylor who runs a company called Strategy. He's been doing this since 2020 when the lockdown happened, and he looked around and said, wait a second, all of my cash is basically trash, and I better invest it into an asset that isn't going to go to zero. That's what he really thinks about the dollar and the euro and the sterling. And he started buying Bitcoin. He actually just spoke at the Bitcoin conference, and I think he owns $60 billion of Bitcoin right now. It's crazy. I think he owns 3 to 4% of the entire supply. And now his stock price is up 20x or 30x since he started doing that. It's been the greatest decision of his life, made more money than anyone dreamed possible. And now other companies are doing the same thing. And I met an incredible young man about 18 months ago at the Satoshi Roundtable in Dubai. His name is Dylan LeClaire. Really smart kid. She didn't actually come from a university background, came from kind of a working class family in Boston, but he was early at seeing how Bitcoin would outdo the fiat system. And right after I met him and had a long chat with him, and he was on London Real, he started working for a company called Metaplanet, which is a registered publicly traded company on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. And he started doing the Saylor strategy, issuing bonds, convertible notes, buying Bitcoin, issuing bonds, buying Bitcoin. A year later, the stock price is up 7x. 7x. And this is Japan, the second largest economy in the world. You don't see equities go up probably more than 10% a year. And so people are starting to look at this. Donald J. Trump Media, DJT Media, which owns True Social, just announced they're going to issue $2.5 billion worth of bonds to buy crypto. GameStop, the meme stock that everybody loves, just bought $500 million worth of Bitcoin, over 4,000 2 days ago. This is all going to drive the price higher and higher and higher. And the truth is, the miners can only mint and mine a tiny supply. And so there's more and more demand and fewer supply. And that's why we know that Bitcoin is going significantly higher, and it's going to pull up Ethereum, Solana, and every other coin in between. And that's why behind the scenes, we are investing in those coins and making a ton of money in the process. Folks, this is an exciting moment. I've had people tell me Bitcoin could hit 150,000 in July, which is 60 days max from now. And that's up from a current high of 112,000. Some people are telling me it's going to hit 180,000 by September. And then there's people like Standard Chartered that say 500,000 per Bitcoin is the cycle. I want to jump in on this and talk to you why this is the most exciting time. If you don't own some Bitcoin, get some today. But if you don't have another strategy, which we're using behind the scenes, to make a lot more money than Bitcoin's going to give you, well, I think you're missing the greatest opportunity of your lifetime, maybe even the greatest opportunity in the last or the next 100 years. So let me jump into this presentation and show you what we're doing here. Thumbs up if you can see this guy here on the front. And this is my thesis, folks. Bitcoin is booming, and I want to tell you why top companies are secretly loading up on crypto now. Also, if you have any questions for me, please type them in the chat. And of course, we'd love to see cameras on if you want to say. So Bally, let me see that camera on, a few others as well. Folks, before we get started, I just want to say this presentation, it's really for information purposes only. It's not intended to be investment advice. If you are looking for that, please go find a professional. And of course, I want to give you a free gift just for showing up. And I'm going to give you module 1 of our super premium program called the Investment Club. This is actually a 19-page PDF file that I'm going to send to you right now through the power of Zoom. If you're coming later, you can go to londonreal.tv/download, but you can actually grab it right now, and I'm going to send it to you on this chat. If you can, please read this later, but just keep an eye out for it. It's a PDF. It's about a 0.5 meg in size, and I'm just going to send it to you right now. 1 second. Okay, let's see here. Yes, the power of Zoom is happening now. Just send me a yes if you've got this thing. It is going now. And please give that a read later. But for now, of course, I'm just going to jump right back into this presentation and get through to the good stuff. I also want to give you a free video at the end of this presentation that's going to show you how to find the hottest crypto pre-sale tokens in 3 easy steps. And it's going to show you how we're making millions and tens of millions of dollars. And this year, we'll be making hundreds of millions of dollars for all of our members of our investment club that are investing alongside of us. Folks, we do it with pre-sale tokens. This is a practice of secretly buying tokens from a CEO before they're ever offered to the public. Then when they do go on an exchange or they do get offered to millions of people, the price can skyrocket, and we take advantage of that price action. And of course, this happened in a popular currency called Solana. Anybody heard of this crypto before? Bally, you heard of Solana? Dennis? Some people have. It's one of the biggest ones out there. But you could have bought this for 4 pennies each on a pre-sale token many years ago. If you had done that and put $1,000 into this, that one trade, that $1,000 would have multiplied to 5 million bucks. Anybody here could use an extra 5 million right about now? Dennis, Bally, you want it? Why not, right? I'm telling you, this is real money, folks, and it's all happening now in crypto. By the way, this is a deal we signed recently, and you can see this blue circle here in the middle. This is the amount of money we invested into another crypto. We invested $200,000. You can see this green circle on screen. That's the number of tokens we bought, 16 million tokens. And we paid 1.25 pennies per token. We actually bought these cheaper than you could have bought those Solana tokens. Well, what happened? Well, this company called Skillful AI was up 20x on launch, and it made my club, the members of my club, about 25 people, $4 million in profit. Boom, that happened in about 4 hours, right when the token went live. Needless to say, everybody was happy about it. This is the CEO of the company named Zoltan. He came to London and had his interview on London Real, which is what you get when we invest in your company. It's one of the great perks and one of the reasons we get great deals. And he said, Brian, this is going to 100x. Hold on to those tokens. And so this has the potential to make a $20 million profit. That's one deal, folks. We've done over 100 of these. You can start to see how that money really adds up. Now, of course, after this, something weird happened. Zoltan asked me if he could join the investment club. And that I thought was strange because I assumed as a CEO of one of the biggest companies out there, he would see great deals and he would get great opportunities. But he said, Brian, you see better deals than I do. You get tokens cheaper than I do because you're a big famous media person, and you get the tokens in your wallet quicker than I could as well. He said, I want to join your program. Of course, I said, there's only one way to do that. That's by talking to Martini, and she's going to make you pay full price, and she's still going to make sure that she vets you. And 2 weeks later, bam, he was in the club. And so I think it's honestly the best testament we could have when an industry insider wants to join this amazing opportunity and this club. Folks, this is another deal we did, was a 20x in 20 days, made a $5 million profit. This is a game on the blockchain, kind of like Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty. This is a digital ID system called Mochaverse. And this guy here next to me is a guy named Yat Siu. He's the chairman of the Mochaverse and Animoca Brands, which is a massive gaming conglomerate that's on Web3. He's a real visionary. We've done about 7 deals with him. And I always say he's the Elon Musk of the future. This is another deal we did, was up 22x. And just so you know, if you put $10,000 into this deal, you would have almost $250,000 of profit. That's how much these can scale. And this was the first deal we did with a big VC called Andreessen Horowitz. And of course, we did a meme coin recently, was up 14x. And again, one of our members had $30,000 in this token, and they woke up to a $420,000 profit. That's something that's big, and it's very hard to deny. And of course, we actually invested in $1 billion fund called 1RT. This fund, run by this guy, Dan Tapiero, is actually already up 4x. Something you rarely see from $1 billion fund that invests only in equities. He's not even buying tokens. It's really, really safe. It's really low risk, and it's already up 4x. And so, folks, we are having a tremendous amount of success in the background, making our members a lot of money. Here's where I like to show some of the deals we're currently working on. One of these deals is literally about to close before we speak. It's a company that's actually making the first Web3 laptop. I know that sounds wild. It's actually going to be a device you can buy from the store where you can actually go in and buy a computer that's already pre-set up to trade crypto, to monitor crypto, to even earn crypto with your computer CPU while you sleep. And that's one of the reasons we love it. It's being launched by Thomson, which is one of the biggest hardware manufacturers in the world. And this is that deal.
This guy is very well versed in this space.
He's a smart guy.
I doubt any hardware manufacturer is thinking this far ahead.
We created the world's first ever Web3 laptop. The reason why we can pull it off is because we've got a very big brand that's been around for over 100 years. We've got some of the biggest, brightest minds in the computing world on our side. This is what makes us different. We can integrate any dApps, gaming, DeFi, AI, finance, blockchain, entertainment, and any single person who's got one of these laptops or this software, they would be completely immersed straight away in Web3. This is the new big thing.
What will the token be for?
The utility itself is you can actually rent out your CPU, GPU power and be rewarded with this token and get discounts on real hardware. It's real utility that we're bringing to the table here.
I want to grow. I want to invest in product, you are right. And I want to introduce a technology before my competitors. My vision is to be to the NASDAQ.
It's going to be more than enough to make this the main laptop in everything to do with development, Web3. We're really going to go big.
What does everybody here think?
This is a Web2 company that's trying to merge into Web3 the right way. So I'm pretty excited about these guys.
People invest in people, and when I see the way he's known how to surround himself by people that complete his own experience, I want to invest in it. This market is hard, and the fact that they managed to be so successful in their market is a testament to their ability to do it.
It has the ideas. It's already a company which is selling a lot of computers. It has a big market share. It's a good play.
They can sell an unbelievable amount of volume. So these guys have been doing it for a long time. Boy, if we can get something going here, it looks good. Let's do it.
Booyah, there you go. We love this deal. I think there's only about 5 or 10K left on that, but we think it's going to blow up, and we love it when hardware manufacturers jump into crypto. The next deal I want to show you is a guy I actually had in studio 2 days ago. He's an incredible visionary, an OG in crypto, and he wants to build something that's going to bring the next billion people into Web3. He thinks it's a space that can really democratize finance and allow everybody to take part in this crypto revolution. It's really incredible. The deal is called Snowball Money, and the guy that runs it is an incredible guy named Parul. Like I said, he was just here, and he just didn't disappoint, just completely blew my mind with the kind of person he is and what he's building. So this is Snowball. This is going to be $1 billion company.
His experience has been in the space for a while.
Probably one of the more exciting projects we've seen. I think it's terrific.
It is definitely a winner.
With Snowball, the idea is to be able to invest your capital and have that capital grow. Our goal is to launch as a unicorn. How is a user going to easily transact across 10,000 chains? Our goal is to abstract away the user experience and the main value proposition of these different 10,000 chains. That's why we built Snowstorm protocol and a modular naming service, which allows you to be able to buy an identity and connect this identity to all of your wallet addresses. We're well capitalized, we're sprinting, we have a phenomenal team. We've worked together for a while. We've built a ton of products. We're making revenue. We're going to be going to market by being on some of the major blockchains, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, Aptos, Movement, and then we'll be powering the Move stack. Right now, it's just continuing being heads down, sprint, deliver.
200 mil val to launch. Is that smart?
Given our track record, what we've seen in the market, and looking at competitors, it's very reasonable. When we get to that $200 million valuation, it's not just going to be an imaginary number that we came up with. It's based off a vast number of users, a number of income that has come in from the transaction volume, the number of integrations. The AI agent product will already be released, and we'll have very promising roadmap at that point with token generation event right around the corner.
2 thumbs up if you like this guy, like his vibe, you think he's going to be successful. Manuel is in, Rhonda's in, John's in. Dr. Encore, your thoughts on Snowball?
He's already invested in a bunch of companies, so he knows the investor side of things, and their product is live and it's already generating revenue.
Tigran, can I just get your thoughts real quick here?
I definitely like the project.
These 10,000 chains are going to be coming on for sure. We know that's going to happen. So there has to be a solution. Someone's going to have to win in this space. I don't see why it wouldn't be him.
Booyah, and that's John Boyle, one of the big members of our club. He regularly puts $50,000 into a single deal. Everybody else, a lot of times, puts in only 5 or 10,000. and they're incredible deals. And you can kind of see the format. The CEOs pitch us live. It's a bit like Shark Tank, but it's a bit more fun. And actually, you can even attend these calls on a Monday or a Thursday. Just message Martini, and she can hook you up with a ticket to what is really an incredible way to learn. So that's some of the things that we're working on. A lot of people are asking us, how do we pick so many winners? Because we really have so many success stories. And it's not really a matter of luck. I think there's more to it. After thinking about it, we figured out that success is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. We've actually put in the time in these markets. We've been investing in, teaching, broadcasting, educating for over 4 years now. And that's why we're having the success. We've really put in the time, and now we're really reaping those rewards. Folks, a lot of you have tried to invest in crypto on your own, and you probably have had a bad experience like Drake on top. It's really hard out there. It's a jungle because most people make mistakes or you're taken advantage of by bad actors. But there's another way. You shouldn't quit. This is an incredible opportunity to make money, and we've actually created a way for you to be successful, and it's doing it through us. We've been successful for the past 4 years. 150 people have joined our investment club, and we're really changing the game. And that's what we've done. Our product is called the Investment Club. It's a solution to what many of you have been struggling with your whole life, how to finally stop living paycheck to paycheck, how to stop being stressed about money, and get to a place where you have enough wealth where you can take a pause and figure out what you exactly want to do with your life. What do you want to give back to the world? What do you want to pursue? And that only happens when you can create real wealth in a short period of time. And in my opinion, the best way to do that is with crypto. I've looked and traded all other instruments in my career in banking, stocks, bonds, commodities. There's nothing like crypto that can change your life really in a matter of a few trades. And that's what we're teaching inside my club. If that sounds interesting to you, then I suggest you reach out to Martini. She is the one that vets everybody before you get in. She's very careful about who she allows, because the truth is we are actually going to be together for the next 10, 20 years, building massive wealth and changing the world. But if this sounds like something that's interesting, take a look at one of these links. They're also in the chat. Click one of them and book a call with her, but only if you're really serious about joining. She's super busy talking to people around the world that really are serious about changing their wealth and changing their game. Folks, this is the big news. The Bitcoin price is surging, and that's really creating more companies that want to go ahead and buy Bitcoin for their balance sheet. A lot of them are seeing what Michael Saylor's strategy has done, and they think, wow, I would love a 20x or 30x pop on my stock price, and I'm sitting on this cash, which is becoming more and more worthless every single day. And that's really what we want to do. And of course, you can see when we drill down here, you can see that President Donald Trump's family office, that DJT entity, is just raised $2.5 billion to buy crypto. And you can also see that other companies are buying, and now 113 public companies now are holding over 800,000 Bitcoin worth $88 billion. That's pretty incredible. Of course, on top of that, Elon Musk just confirmed that X Money started beta testing, and they're going to soon use that entire platform of X as a bank. You all forget PayPal was one of Musk's original ventures, and that really was an online bank. And when he puts crypto, it's going to make it surge even more. And of course, we've recently seen that the stablecoin bill has passed the Senate, and it's on to the Congress. If this thing gets passed, and the word is that it will, this is going to create massive inflows to the blockchain. We've already heard the Bank of America CEO said that as soon as this is passing, he's going to issue a Bank of America stablecoin that you're going to be able to see in your bank statement and trade at your local bank. That's mind-boggling to me. And of course, now we're seeing nation-state adoption. This is the big thing. We're seeing the US say they want 1 million Bitcoin strategic reserve. China, Russia, other countries have already started accumulating. And you can see from the numbers here that they really don't have enough. You know, both US and China only have 200,000 Bitcoin. UK has 61,000. El Salvador has only 5,000. And there's only so much to go around, which is going to take the price all the way higher. And of course, Standard Chartered just said that each Bitcoin is going to $500,000 each on this cycle. That's a 5x from where we are right now. And of course, where I spend my time in Dubai, all of these gentlemen in the Middle East are starting to buy crypto with their sovereign wealth funds. Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi, Abu Dhabi, everybody, they're buying. And of course, that's going to cause a new wave or a $15 trillion earthquake that's going straight for Solana, for Ethereum, for Bitcoin. And of course, Abu Dhabi just confirmed they've actually bought now over $500 million worth of Bitcoin. And of course, I recently ran to be mayor of London. I ran really on a pro-crypto, pro-freedom of speech strategy. I really wanted all the voting to be on the blockchain, the budget to be on the blockchain. And of course, I wanted to create the London coin and give 100 pounds of crypto to every man, woman, and child. I think this is how we educate our kids for the future. I'm so passionate about this. Folks, this was me in Dubai just about a month ago. We set up our studio there and we talked to the movers and shakers. This is Dr. Marwan Al-Zaruni, runs the Dubai Blockchain Center, a good friend of mine who is super plugged into crypto. This is Uni Wong. She's a big crypto influencer that can really move markets. This is Carl the Moon. He was working as a grocery store clerk in 2018, and now he's a crypto billionaire. Think about that. And of course, this is a guy named Chris MM Crypto. He was driving a taxi in 2017 and now a crypto billionaire. My question for you is, what are you waiting for? There's so much money to be made by so many different people out there. Folks, we are busy. We're currently investing over $5 million into 15 different blockchain and AI deals this quarter. And it's all because of London Real Ventures. We have created the world's first media-powered investment firm. This is incredible. No one's ever done this before. They've taken a media company like London Real with 1 billion views, 5 million followers, and combined it with a venture capital company of $25 million. When you do this, amazing things happen, like our portfolio. What you see here is really the best of the best, the creme de la creme of Web3. And each one of these companies is potentially going to become a $2 billion, $5 billion, $10 billion protocol, making all of my members filthy rich. And that's my goal. I just want to make them wealthy beyond their wildest belief. And I want to see what they can give back to the world. Folks, right now, we've just crossed the milestone of over 20 million invested in over to 100 blockchain AI deals. I can't tell you how big of a deal this is. No one's ever seen a media company jump into the space and quickly amass such a major footprint, but also some of the hottest deals on the planet. And of course, one of the reasons we're successful is we invest alongside these massive companies like Coinbase Ventures, Andreessen Horowitz, even Warner Brothers Music. And that's one of the reasons we keep our winners. Now, recently, we were recognized by the industry and got an award for the best venture capital KOL of the year. KOL stands for Key Opinion Leader. I was super excited to accept this. And about 2-3 weeks ago in Dubai, I was actually given a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Global Family Office Investment Summit. It's really nice to see the entire investment community really recognizing us for the great work that we've done here at London Real. And of course, I was really also trying to get our name out there, and I decided I would jump into the boxing ring and represent London Real and try to teach this young kid some manners. It was a great fight, and I'm looking forward to the rematch in October in Singapore. Folks, we think the greatest way to predict the future is just to go out there and create it. And so if you're a proactive person that really wants to change the world, well, this is potentially the place for you. If you want to be around a group of people that don't quit, that don't give up, that don't decide that when the world doesn't go their way, they want to complain about it, but they want to take action, that's what we do here. And we've actually got a mission statement on our wall here that talks about what we're here for, to transform the world. We want to give people their power back, their conscience back, and also make everyone cooperate as one. It's really a revolutionary idea these days, and it's one of the reasons we've been so successful. But a lot of you that know me personally know, for me, it's more than that. I've got these two beautiful boys to look out for, and honestly, they're getting older, and they're asking me questions about AI and crypto, and my job is to make sure I can provide for them for the future, not just provide resources and Bitcoin and money, but also provide a world that isn't a threat to them. And I'm very worried about our fiat currency getting out of control. I'm worried about our banking system really censoring our transactions. And I'm worried about AI-powered robots that might dominate us. Everything we do here at London Real is to try to mitigate that and make sure the future is the way we want it. And I always remind myself, if I want a reward tomorrow, I have to take risk today. And I know a lot of you have families or people you're looking out for in your community, maybe parents. You know what? They are looking to you to provide. And the only way to do that is to take action today. You're not going to save your way into financial freedom, you're going to have to take some risks. And if it's not a little scary, you're probably not going to get rewarded for it. And so we're looking for people that, look, they see the opportunity, they know it's a risk, but they also know who we are. We've been here 14 years at London Real. We've been investing for 4 years with tremendous success. 150 people have come in with us. And if you really want to change your life and stop worrying about money, this is one of the best ways to do it. Folks, this is Michael Saylor. He's been on the show twice, and he owns $60 billion worth of Bitcoin. And he's here to tell you that this is the instrument that you need to invest in now. He actually is planning to buy an additional 40 billion of Bitcoin, and he thinks each one of these coins is going to $13 million. He also thinks that AI and ETFs are going to power a decade-long gold rush for Bitcoin. And so if you don't know much about this asset, now is the time to listen. And I think one of the best ways to do it is to listen to Michael. And so I want to play for you a quick snippet of him on London Real. And I want you to listen really carefully to this, because you might think you understand Bitcoin, but until you listen to Michael, you realize you don't know a damn thing about this. And so listen to what he says.
We went from investing 250 million in Bitcoin to 425 million in Bitcoin to eventually $1 billion in Bitcoin to $2 billion in Bitcoin to just slightly less than $4 billion.
You said there are decades when nothing happens, and there are weeks when Bitcoin happens.
So every decade, there's some profound paradigm shift. It's such an out of the blue idea that no one can conceive of why you would even want it. What you've got is a lot of people questioning all their premises, and rising through that chaos is a new idea. What if I can encrypt energy? What if I can encrypt money such that nobody on earth, no government can debase it, no corporation can steal it? I don't trust anybody. I'm going to create a shared immutable ledger, incorruptible, immortal, transcendental ledger. If I can transfer $1 million of value from me to you without an intermediary, that means I have transcended the political realm.
You said, Brian, I like Bitcoin because it has low aspirations.
The idea of Bitcoin was, how do I create a protocol that's fair and equitable that I give as a gift to the world that no one can control? If you're going to do it and you understand thermodynamics, and if you have any sense of genetics or biology or physics, you realize you need to be very humble in your aspirations. How do we give the gift of property rights, freedom, and sovereignty and empowerment to everybody on the planet? The best idea 30 years ago was YouTube or Google Maps, Twitter or Facebook or email. I think the best idea for the next 30 years is digital energy. Everybody can own their stuff, and nobody can take it away from them.
Booyah. Love that man. He's pretty incredible. And I really think they're going to build a statue of him one day. He really represented at the Bitcoin conference recently. And I hope you get something out of that. I always get something every time I watch him. I find him a really fascinating individual. And without him, I don't know where we would be. Takeaways from Michael is this: crypto is encrypted energy. No government can debase it. No corporation can steal it, because it actually transcends money. And that's one of the things we absolutely love about it. Folks, 2025 is the year of crypto, and you're about to miss the whole damn thing. I advise you to pull the trigger and jump in and get involved. You can thank me later, but you don't want to miss what's about to happen over the next few weeks and the next few months. So where and how do we invest? Well, first, you got to find the hottest trend, and I will share with you our thesis in just a few slides. But there's one thing you're not going to find on your own, and it's the one thing that we're able to do that has made us super successful so far, and that is sourcing deal flow. How can you get yourself in on the hottest deals on the world when they're all secrets between some of the wealthiest and most powerful people? Well, you've got to go ahead and build those relationships. And that's what I've been doing for the past 4 years. I've been traveling from city to city to city, trying to make some amazing, really friendships with people from government, influencers, venture capital, you name it. And this is me in Dubai about 4 years ago, again, talking to members of government and, of course, people that are influencers. This is me in Paris, France, sitting down with some very high-level VCs and projects, doing media Of course, more influencers. Then I'm back to London to shoot an episode with my good friend Yat Su, attending the Token 2049 conference. Of course, I've got to go to the States, and this is me in Austin, Texas, hanging out with celebrities, more influencers. And of course, on the bottom right, you can see me and 14 members of our investment club. We're smiling, we're having a good time because we're making a ton of money, we're making lifelong friends, and we're changing the world. And that's kind of what we love doing behind the scenes. Of course, from there, I was off to Singapore, where, again, doing more media, hanging out with people, and really building the brand in Asia. And from there, I was actually in Toronto just about a few weeks ago, met up with our investment club again. As you can see, all those people in the bottom right-hand corner, it's getting bigger and bigger. And of course, they love coming together. We love seeing each other at conferences because, like I said, we're making a ton of money and changing the world. And of course, I always make my way back to Dubai, where I get to interview people on stage and meet some of the biggest players in the market. This is how I can source the deals that are going to make you a lot of money. And that's why I'm always on the road. Folks, there's more than that. If you want to win in this space, you have to invest with the best. What does that mean? You have to look at a lot of deals. And here's a snapshot of the number of deals we're going to look at really on a weekly basis. We'll boil this down to 4 CEOs that'll pitch us live on our calls on Monday and Thursday. Like I said, if you DM Martini, she might allow you to attend one of those calls. And you can really do that and find a way to see some of these incredible deals. But it's a lot of work that we're doing behind the scenes to get the winners that we then present to our investment club. But there's more than that, folks. These financial tools, it's probably the reason you haven't made money in crypto, because you're probably buying tokens on exchanges that you heard about in some news article or some video, or maybe somebody on X. That's not really the way to make game-changing money. And the truth is, you've got to have a thesis. And we believe that early stage Web3, metaverse, and artificial intelligence investments represent the hottest opportunity on the planet. Why? You buy at super low valuations. You get to see the biggest gains possible. Of course, you invest in what I'm calling the biggest dislocation of wealth in human history. Yes, it's high risk, but the reward, it's even higher. And it's all done with pre-sale tokens. No one's teaching this. No one's giving people the access to deals like we are in the world. And again, here's a perfect example. How many people here have Solana before? Bally, you've heard it before, right? Dennis, I think you have as well, and a few others. Marco, I know you know. Well, you could have bought this as a pre-sale token. And by the way, you can get all this information on the blockchain. It's public. This is the date, April 5th. The price is 4 pennies. They raised $3.17 million, not a lot of money. And of course, they sold 79 million tokens. What happens? Well, you know what happened. $1,000 invested on that day would make you $5 million. That's a lot of money. For me, that money buys me freedom, the freedom to do what you want to do with your life. How many people here would love to quit your job, or would love to start your own business, or would love to give it to charity, or would love to put your grandkids through college? This can all be done with money, and it takes some wealth to do that. And that's the beautiful thing about what we do. What I do is I try to get you that information that will make you the money. I want to be able to text you on a daily basis and say, Bally, I got this deal. If you click this link, you can invest. If you don't have to. But my job is to get you the hottest deals on the planet so you have the opportunity to make this kind of money. And I always tell people that's not really a hypothetical situation. It's actually a real situation, because I'm checking my phone here and I want to show you the group that we all share. And it's a Telegram group for the investment club. And pinned on the top is a message. And what it is our latest deal. And you can see it here. And if you click the link on the bottom, within about 30 seconds, you can invest in this deal. And I pin one of these every single day. My job is to give my members the information that makes them wealthy. How many people here would like a text message from me on a daily basis, right? Might as well see the deals, right? You could have seen that Solana deal a few years ago. And it reminds me of that line from the movie Wall Street, where Gecko says the most valuable commodity I know of is information. If you really think about it, the right information at the right minute is how people make billions and tens of billions of dollars. And that's my job, to bring you that really good information. Folks, if you want to be successful in this space, you have to pull the trigger. Many of you are sitting on the sidelines, and every day you read an article about crypto, or you read a tweet about crypto, or you watch a video, or you come to my live masterclass, but you don't take any action. How the hell are you ever going to have progress and success unless you take action? I know it's scary. I know you think you might make a mistake, but you're leaving a ton of wealth on the table. And so I meet people that are smart, that could make a ton of money, but they're just too scared to pull the trigger and actually go for it. Once they do, they realize how simple it is to do these things. It's just so simple to do it. And so you want to just make sure you do it now, and you want to get involved and just make sure you move to the next level. And that's why we have a portfolio like this, because we have pulled the trigger and taken things all the way. And each one of these deals, like I said, has the potential to become a $2, $5, $10 billion protocol. And that's all because of London Real Ventures. This is the structure that gets you access to deals that you would never see in your whole life unless you had $1 billion fund. And this is the structure that brings the CEOs here to my studio and giving them us access to their deals. And it's because of my quadruple threat. This is it, folks. I had a CEO in the studio today. Why is he here? Number one is production. We sat down for a 2-hour, 6-camera, high definition production. Martini was actually the first interview he ever did, ever. There's no media footprint of him on the web. And guess what? He crushed it. Martini, this is, I mean, it's just another one of our companies. It's just going to make everybody a ton of money. It's just crazy when I sit down with these CEOs because I know them, they pitched us, but to sit down and spend 3-4 hours and hear all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, to hear the billionaires involved and the exchanges that want to list them and the big VCs and the hedge funds. And it's like crazy. And I streamed it live today. You know, you can go watch it. This is why they come, because they value our media platform. Because number two here is distribution. I'm going to take that interview, create a 2-minute Hollywood trailer, and send it to 5 million potential customers for him. They love that. Number three is connection. I'm going to introduce him to everybody we know in the business, and we know everybody. And number four is expansion. We're going to write him a $200,000 check. There's not a single CEO in the business that can say no to this. It's an incredible, incredible offer. There's one last piece, folks, and I want to make sure you know this because a lot of you are thinking, I don't know why, I just can't get started, Brian. I can't move forward. Well, I think there's a reason for that, because I think ultimately I can give you a token and maybe you can make a little money, but the real successful people out there are the ones that surround themselves with the best. You know what? You really are who you hang out with. How many people have heard this expression? You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Bally, you probably heard of that. Dennis, a bunch of people nodding their head here. We all know this to be true. And yet think about who you're hanging out with. I always say, go check your text messages on the phone. Who are the last 5 people that sent you a text message? Those are probably your inner circle, right? Or they're at least out of that last 10. How many of those people are billionaires, Bally? How many of those people are going to create 10 million in revenue from a startup this year? How many of those people are doing high performance things with their lives? Probably 0, but it gets worse. How many of those people are toxic family members that just don't believe in you and don't really want you to succeed? How many of those people, Bally, are friends, you know, from maybe a long time ago that still are acting like they're in high school, right? Still go out drinking on the weekends, doing stupid things, watching 6 hours of Netflix. Who are you kidding? You're not going to become super successful if you hang out with people with low energy, low expectations. They're not going to encourage you to go out there and be the best version of yourself. And the more I thought about this, this was the story of my life. And, you know, throughout my life, I think just serendipitously or luckily, I got around peer groups that pushed me. And so Brian on the left, I'm 16 years old. I'm in San Diego, California. And I probably would have stayed there and still been there, probably, you know, doing similar things. I think I'm washing a car there. But I managed to get out and I got into MIT and I had to fly 6 hours across the country. And I was surrounded by people much smarter than me. And I had a real struggle just to be in that environment and to compete. But being around high performance MIT people was amazing. And by the end of those 4 years, those people had taught me a lot and I was now surrounded by the best. But that wasn't enough because I still was broke as a joke as a college kid. I knew that if I wanted to make money, I had to go to Wall Street. And that's what I did. And that's a picture of me on the right. Here I am on a trading floor on Wall Street. And this is where it got interesting because these people were another level. These people were making 10 million bucks a year and they were talking fast and aggressive and nasty. And they also knew how to make money and they were uncomfortable to be around, but they also pushed me and taught me to get to the next level. And a few years later, I literally became one of them. And so if you want to actually get your life to the next level, you're going to have to surround yourself with high performance people and get uncomfortable. That's really what this is all about. And that's why you need to hang out with people like Marianne Bartels. She is a 35-year Wall Street veteran, made her clients tens of billions of dollars. She's one of the founding members of our club. And this is the kind of person that you can be around with me every week who's going to get your life to the next level. I bet none of you know anybody anywhere near like Marianne. And if you went to her office in New York City and begged her to have a coffee with you, she would say no, because you're a waste of her time. But in my club, you can hang out with people like this on a daily basis. And it's these people that are going to take your life to the next level. Marianne's not going to put up with your small aspirations, your excuses, or your tiny little dreams. Marianne's out there to crush it, and she likes people around her that want to crush it. And because of London Real, I've been around some high performance people, and it really changes who you are just to be in the same room as them. I always say it's not what they say, it's what they don't say. Sometimes it's not what they do, it's what they don't do, right? And I'd say your current peer group right now is doing and saying a lot of things that are taking you in the wrong direction. This is Tigran. He's one of America's top 100 criminal defense attorneys, one of our founding members in the club. This is your new peer group. Imagine hanging out with these two over the next 10 years. That alone would probably increase your net worth by millions of dollars. Just watching how they move, just seeing how they think and how they talk, seeing the things that they prioritize in their lives. This is the thing I'm trying to give you, which you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. Because in your normal life, it's hard to attract people like this to you. You've got to find a way to get into this group, and that's what it is in the investment club. We got 150 members, but this is another one. Andrew Haynes, he's really our technical expert. He understands Web3, metaverse, digital land, and he's happy to jump on a call with you and bring you up the curve if you need to. Again, a guy like this in your life is incredible, and it's just not going to happen on its own because he's a really busy guy. And of course, we got Dr. Encore. He sources all of our deals for us. 4 years ago, he was in medicine. He took our crypto and DeFi course and he graduated. Then he took our Kings of DeFi course and graduated, was the founding member of this club. And then a year ago, we hired him full-time to source deals for us. I'm telling you, you get to spend time with this guy. He's one of the best in the business. These people will change your life. And I got 146 more of these that will as well. This is the missing ingredient. This is actually probably the most important thing I've talked about this entire presentation. The people in your life will determine your success. And every day you're surrounded by the wrong people is a day you can't get back in your life. Think about that carefully. And this is our family, folks. Some selfies I took behind the scenes, and what you see is just a lot of smiles, a lot of love. We really take this seriously. And this is an event we had in London. These are all members of my investment club. And when we get together, we really enjoy ourselves because we share the same values and we're doing beautiful things. Folks, I believe your net worth is your network. And if you don't believe this, you're probably leaving a lot of money on the table. It took me a long time to figure this out, way too long. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So get in the right room if you want to change your net worth. Folks, I believe you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. That's what I do. And if you come to our call on Monday or a Thursday, I'm basically teaching. People are learning by watching. They're learning about deals. Yeah, sometimes they're over their head. I don't understand the terms. I've never seen the CEO before. I don't understand everything about blockchain. That's okay. Come along anyways. You'll be amazed what you learn when you're just a little uncomfortable and a little out of your comfort zone and a little out of your league. That's what we do. Within 4 or 5 calls, you'll actually find yourself being able to make good calls on those deals. And of course, that's why we created the London, the investment club. Because in 21, 4 years ago, we did our first crypto pre-sale token. And as Dennis knows, it really scared the heck out of me, right, Dennis? It did, because it was an instrument I'd never seen before in 15 years of banking. Felt like a bunch of cowboys out there. They wanted me to send $100,000 to a random wallet, and I'd never met this guy before. But I quickly realized that that's the way they do business. And if I couldn't adjust, I was going to lose deals. I also realized that if any of you try this, or any of our London Real family around the world or the London Real Army try this, they're going to get taken to the cleaners and probably lose all of their money. And so we figured, wait a second, here's an opportunity. What if we could teach all of our people how to do this? What if we could create billions of dollars of wealth along the way? and get these people to use it for good. That could be more impact than every video I've ever shot. And so we created the Investment Club. And the details are this: it's an application only program. We open up only 10 spaces a quarter, and they're always gone. We're oversubscribed. There's 6 modules, 3 months of coursework. It's a 12-month program, but guess what? It's turned into a lifetime program because no one's ever left. We do a weekly live Zoom call with top CEOs. We actually do 4 a week now, sometimes even 6. We have a private Telegram group. You get access to all the deal flow. And if you don't know crypto, if you've never bought a Bitcoin in your life, no problem. We'll give you our full year of the Kings of DeFi program. We'll teach you everything you need to know about crypto. We've had people come in and do their first deal 2 weeks later who don't know anything about the blockchain. So we've got you covered. Next live call, Thursday, 6 p.m. if you want to join us. We teach this remote, so you can do this from anywhere in the world. This is our syllabus. I actually reteach this syllabus every 3 months because the market's constantly changing. This is module 1. What is a crypto pre-sale token? I sent you that PDF file, or you can go to londonville.tv/download. Module 2 is what is a SAFT? I would guess nobody here knows what a SAFT is. And that's probably the reason you're not ever going to create any wealth. Because until you understand the instruments that the wealthy use to stay wealthy, you're going to be in a cycle of poverty. And I've seen people live paycheck to paycheck their whole life. Saving's not going to do it. And if you don't know what a SAFT is, you probably don't have a great future. I'm here to teach you what one is. A SAFT is a simple agreement for future tokens. It's what we use to get you those pre-sale tokens. Module 3, how do we conduct due diligence? How do we actually evaluate these companies and find out if they're any good? That's what we do. I use the 5T system. That's team, traction, technology, tokenomics, terms and conditions. We're going to teach you how you can evaluate companies so you don't rely on me. Module 4, how to generate new deal flow. I'll show you what conference to go to, what ticket to buy, what to wear. And you can actually use QR codes scanned on your phone to send deals back to the group while you're at the conference. It's pretty cool. Module 5 is how do we actually nurture these investments so they become $1 billion, $2 billion, $5 billion protocol. And number 6 is what do we do with all the cash? There's so much money here. And I always tell my members, save some, spend some, and I recommend putting the rest back into these deals. This is our Telegram group. This is our Discord group. And here are the details, folks. As I mentioned, we're oversubscribed. Martini's super busy. She takes calls from people all over the world that want to join this club right now because they see this massive value. The investment in this club is $50,000, and that's going to get you the hottest deals in the world. Now, look, I understand 50,000 is a significant amount of money. I used to make $6 an hour. I get it. But at the same time, that investment could get you an unlimited financial return. What if it made you $50 million? It's actually probably the greatest return of anything you've bought in your life. So you got to really look at it that way. And of course, it gets you your chance to take part in the greatest wealth creation event in human history happening now. And of course, those 2 deals I showed you earlier, those opportunities are going to end in the next few days. So you want to be fast to take advantage of I think those are 2 of the most amazing deals of the year. By the way, this is a deal we did last quarter. You missed this deal. This is a SAFT agreement. All right. This is an agreement that I don't want it to intimidate you, but we can show you what that is. And this was the deal we did. It was up 466% in one day. And I always like to tell people, if you had kind of stopped thinking about it and stopped overthinking the concept and just gone into this deal, you could have paid for the club in one investment. And, one of my mentors always said that research is procrastination in disguise. And he always encouraged me to pull the trigger. And look, I understand fear is real, and sometimes it's healthy, before you join something or go into something that's like a big decision. If you're not a little bit, feeling a little trepidatious, then you're not paying attention. But my boys are now 8 and 9 years old, and I always tell them the hero and the coward feel the same thing. They feel the fear, but it's the hero that takes action in spite of the fear. And about 3 weeks ago, I had that decision to make before I walked into the boxing ring in Dubai. And I know exactly what that felt like, because everything in my body and my amygdala, my lizard brain, was telling me to get on a plane and fly back to London and not get in the ring with this 28-year-old kid that wanted to, I think he said take everything from me, is what he said. So, that says a lot. But I also kind of knew that on the other side of my fear lied everything I ever dreamed of. And thank God I went into that ring, because I walked out of it really a different man and a different person. And this is just something to really think about, and just think about kind of where you're at and how these signals go into your brain and how you can navigate them and surf them in a way that probably gets you a great result. And of course, you've seen our results. This is our track record. Shrapnel was up 20x in 20 days. Skillful AI was up 20x and made my members a $4 million profit. Mochaverse was up 20x. This is my good friend Yatsu of Animoca Brands. And of course, our first deal with Andreessen Horowitz was up 22x. And of course, our first meme coin, we did 14x on as well. That was our one on the Ton ecosystem. And of course, our deal with Dan Tapiero, a great, great fund manager and a good friend. Again, a low risk equity only deal is already up 4x. And so we've really been blessed by some tremendous success. And nice to see you, Mr. Kurtz. It's been too long, man. I hope you call me one of these days. You're looking younger than ever. Mr. Kurtz and I used to work at Bankers Trust back in the day. It was good times, to say the least. Folks, this is my pledge to my investment club. I'm going to create $10 billion for them over the next 10 years. And something I learned in my time in banking, and maybe can attest to this, is when I tried to make myself rich, I found myself at 40 years old here in London with a lot of money in the bank. And on the outside, I looked like a success. But at night, I was going home to no family and no friends, and I was drinking myself to death. And so I realized that trying to make money for me, it makes me a very lonely person. But what I do like doing is making other people wealthy. And it's something I get a kick out of it. I also like empowering founders and really supporting them on their journey. This guy I had today in studio, Drew, from one of our investments, I mean, he was amazing, blew me away. There's nothing I want more than for him and his team to be successful. Same with the guy that came in on Wednesday, Parul from Snowball Money. I just want to be around people like that, and I want to see them win. And if you think about it, we're 14 years now into London Real. And for the first 10 years, what we used was our media to promote a great idea. We would give attention to somebody out there like a Bruce Lipton or a Mantak Chia or somebody with a great idea. Nowadays, we don't just use our media, we can use capital to do the same thing. But it's still the same philosophy of London Real. We want to transform the world, and we want to do it with great ideas, and we want to do it together. And that's kind of what we're doing here as well. Folks, we got tons of amazing members behind the scenes. They're all real people. They all love what they do here. You can actually watch videos from these people anytime you want. Go to londonreal.tv/club, and each one of these people has a video. This is Carol. She says that every member is both a learner and an investor. We love education. This is Joe. He says the window of opportunity is closing quickly, and it is, especially in crypto. This is Jerry. He's just honored to be part of the club, loves the vibe, loves the community. This is Dr. Yvette. She's a single mom with 4-year-old twins. I always say to people, what's your excuse, right? She was actually in Toronto with me at the Consensus Conference, and she's making it happen. And so when other people tell me they're busy, you know, she's a doctor. She's done about 15 deals with us. She's got 4-year-old twins, and she's still doing it. And so I think when you say you're busy, it's probably just that procrastination in disguise. This is Mary. She asked you, did anybody tip you off about an early stage Facebook or Amazon? Well, guess what? We can. This is Jens. That's a great question. How can you afford not to do this? And that's something really to think about. This is Petya. She's a really interesting situation. She actually couldn't afford to join the club, but she joined anyways. And what she did is she then put herself in a situation where she had to manifest it and make it happen. Now she's done 63 deals with us, probably one of our biggest players. And she's actually changed her life by making the decision to join us. It's really wild. We've had about 5 or 6 or 7 people just like her. So sometimes going into that fear turns you into a different person. And I must say, when I walked out of that boxing ring, I walked out a different person, because I had now faced something that had probably terrified me my whole life. And now it wasn't going to hold me back from making other decisions in my life. And we see a lot of people like Petya in ours, and she was in Toronto as well. This is Alex. Says, imagine seeing a top tech deal every single week. We're going to show you 4 a week. This is Harley. He says, when you join the club, you're not just a member, you're actually part of the family. And that's true. And this is Chris. We love Chris. He said the deal flow is beyond what I expected. Joining was the best decision I ever made. And Chris is cool because he actually invests along his 14-year-old son. And, you know, what happens is his son walks over to him when he hears a good deal and he puts $1,000 on the table and says, I want 20% of this deal. And so we really encourage family members to be in there as well. And I can't wait till one of my sons give me $1,000. I can't even get $10 out of them. But we really like families, husbands and wives and all that stuff. And this is what Chris said about the club. And Chris, of course, was with us in Austin, Texas. And, you know, he really loves everything we do. And it's great to see his son on there. And like I said, we got husbands and wives and kind of everybody in between. And this is Chris.
What the London Real Investment Club actually does for you, it gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals. In the last 3 weeks, I've participated in 3 incredible deals: a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol, an incredible AI protocol. The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals. And that's exactly what we've done. Not only that, you get to hang out with Brian Rose every week. And for me, that was huge because I look at Brian as somebody who's not only an expert in the space, and I think is on the leading edge, but just the leading edge of thought with London Real and the work he's doing there. To anyone who's taking a serious look at this, I know it's a big decision. It was a big decision for me and my family, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I wish you all the best and hope you come join us.
Yeah, Chris is amazing. We actually just have an amazing group of people in there. It's like 150 people, and it does feel like a family. There's a lot of love. The beautiful part is there's no competition because we're always doing this together. But also these people, you know, they expect you to show up kind of as your best. And that's what we do. Again, we're getting together on Mondays and Thursdays. And, you know, it's like a better version of Shark Tank. I always say it's like Shark Tank, but I dress better than Leary. And we don't have any funny people like Cuban in there. And what we do is really get real-time pitches from CEOs and the best blockchain companies. And then literally the community votes up or down, whether we like a project. Of course, we do the due diligence. We're usually investing along some of the biggest VCs in the world, but it's a way that normal people can get access to some of these most incredible deals. And of course, they do it because they want the media exposure that we can provide. Again, it's a really unique model. No one else is doing it, but it's something that's just brought us a lot of success. And our partners love it because we have the best media in Web3 by a factor of 10, you know, real emotional videos that turn viewers into customers. I always say these people are going to soon become your investors, your partners, and your employees on the back of it. So let me see here. Yeah, boom. Folks, it only takes one. This is one of our initial members, Marianne Bartels. She was chief investment officer of Merrill Lynch, Bank of America for like 35 years. And I remember the first call, she says, Brian, it only takes one. And I was like, what do you mean, Marianne? And she said, I know people that were early investors in Google. I know people that were early investors in Uber. One of those deals is set them up for life. And so she always reminded me that there's a ton of scale and upside here. And I think blockchain is happening now. A lot of people say, Brian, I want to wait. And you could wait 5 years for the next cycle. But I really see at this stage that I feel like the next cycle is going to be dominated by the BlackRocks and the JP Morgans of the world that are now suddenly becoming hip to this. And I don't think there'll be the opportunities that are available for everyday people. The beautiful thing about crypto right now is it really democratizes that finance. So final thoughts, don't let this year pass you by. It's really happening now. Obviously saw all-time high on Bitcoin last week at 112. Ethereum was up 50% in 7 days before that. We've still got a ways to go, but it all feels like it's going to happen in Q4. It could extend to early next year. Of course, crypto will always surprise you. That's why we love it. This is a chance to learn early stage investing now. What we teach you, you can use your entire life. As I've said, liquid tokens and equity that you buy on exchanges just have limited gains. Oftentimes, you know, somebody as an early stage investor has already made the 20x or the 50x, and they really have limited upside. And I think the best way is to get into something early stage, as long as it's the right protocol, with the right people, with the right vetting process. And of course, you can learn from active elite investors for only $50,000. I know people like Tapiero, and if you wanted to sit alongside of him and be taught how to invest and to be included in his deals for $50K, he'd probably throw you out of his office. He'd probably throw you out for $500K. These people are just too busy, but we can really give you that education that I don't think is offered anywhere else. And of course, we got a payment plan thanks to Martini. So for $10K a month for 6 months, you can jump in on this. And I always say, if you have that limited capital, you can jump in on a couple deals. And a lot of our companies now in this market are actually doing token generation events in the next 30 to 45 days. So it's an exciting place to be right now. Folks, always say something that Warren Buffett does, best investment you can make is in yourself. You know, a lot of people never actually pay to be in the right room and surround yourself with good people. These days, I don't think I have a negative person in my life because I'm fortunate to hang out with guests on London Real or members of the club or people we invest in. So I don't even know what that negative vibes or low frequency is like. But if you really want to change your game, you're going to need more than a token here or a token there. Just try surrounding yourself with some really high performance people. Even being on the calls, a lot of our CEOs had multiple exits, you know, worth $50, $100 million. Some of them used to work in the White House. Some of them, you know, used to run major sovereign wealth funds. I mean, they're just doing big things. And you can kind of hang out with people like that. That'll get you to the next level. This is a video I love playing, one that originally was played by one of my mentors. And he was frustrated that his students weren't pulling the trigger. And so I always like to play this video because it really strikes a chord with a lot of people. And, you know, it's always a reminder that so many of us are just sitting around waiting for the right time. And I've done this in my life before. And this is probably you when it comes to taking part in opportunities out there. And you probably remind yourself a bit of this lion. So here he is, and all these amazing opportunities are coming by. You know, this could be a deal that you didn't go in, or an opportunity, or this could be you being able to join the investment club. No, I'm going to wait, Brian, maybe next week. No, I'm tired. I don't know, maybe next year. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to wait. And then someone like this comes in, one of my members, and just says, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. And that's what they do. And meanwhile, the other one just ran away with nothing to eat. And so sometimes you just got to go for it. And so think about that. Are you the one waiting? Or are you the one going out there for the meal? That could really make a difference. And that's just something to really think about, because I think a lot of us are reminded by that. Folks, if you want to join us, there's only one way, and that's to book a call with Martini. She is the gatekeeper. It's her call ultimately. And here's 4 different ways to do that. One thing that I will say is, if you are going to book a call with her, just make sure you're serious, because her time is really important. And she's busy talking to people all around the world that actually want to pull the trigger and do this. And so if you're interested, if you think this might be for you, do your research and then show up to the call and have a conversation with her. And let's find out if this is a good fit, because I think it could really change your life forever. Folks, what is your why? For me, every time I have a tough day, every time I'm at a point where maybe I want to quit, I just remind myself why I'm doing this. And when I look at these 2 guys, I wonder why I am doing this. They're a bunch of goofballs, right? But they're getting goofier the older they get, Martini. And you know what? It's like, I understand that these guys need to be provided for. And in the future, they're going to need protection. And I'm their father, and that's my job. And what does that mean? That means I can't just coast every day. I can't just trust the system to take care of me and my family. If you're naive enough to think that saving your money and putting in your mutual funds and your retirement is all going to be taken care of, you're just wrong. And it's going to be a really, really tough day when you have to tell the people that rely on you that you didn't actually make those decisions and you don't have anything for them. Or worse than that, the world is such a mess because you didn't proactively do something about it. So every time I have a tough day, which is all relative, I just think about these guys, and it all becomes very easy to do. And so I'd say connect with your why, connect with why you're here on this planet. And remember, if you really want to provide for them tomorrow, you're going to have to take a risk today. You're going to have to do something uncomfortable today in order to be the person that you're going to be proud of tomorrow. And again, I'll make my last boxing analogy today, but like, I had to go in that ring because I needed to be proud of myself. And ultimately I was, and that was a great decision. And I think it helped take me to the next level. And I'm always looking at things like the investment club, or a boxing match, or a dangerous broadcast, or a fight with a big tech company that wants to stop us. These are all opportunities to evolve and become the next level of who you are as a human. And so I really welcome these challenges. I don't win all of them, but I always learn something, and I always evolve. And so I'm thinking that you probably need to do the same. So get yourself in the right room with the right people. Find a way to create that wealth and provide for the people and protect the people in your life. Folks, this is the video that I promised, LondonReal.tv/bonus. If you click that, you can watch a video that'll tell you a little bit more about Module 1 and what we do with SAFs and pre-sale tokens behind the scenes. And I hope you enjoy that. Also, you can join us on one of our pitch calls on a Monday or a Thursday at 7 p.m. UK time. Send Martini a message. She'll get you an invite. Like I said, it's like Shark Tank, but it's more fun. And you'll learn a lot if you come as well. And I think financial education is something that our schools just gave up on, and it's a real shame. Folks, I'd love to answer some questions for you. So if you have any, put them in the chat. Was that helpful to anybody here? Was that enjoyable? Good. I'm glad I spent my Friday night with you. I can see we have Martini here. And so, you know, that's not very often. Sometimes she's actually on calls with people. But Martini, would love to get your thoughts.
Yes, absolutely. Well, great call today, Brian, and good to see everybody on the line here. And hopefully you were able to pick up some of the gems that Brian dropped today. And in really taking a look at 2025 is the year of crypto, and it's really just the year and a pivotal year for each and all of us that are choosing to get into the arena and do something different and start investing in a better future for ourselves and for our loved ones. So if you are looking to pivot and really starting to make a change for this year in 2025, we want to support you in that. So I put some links inside of the chat below. The very first link is for you to check out the Investment Club page, and that's going to give you rundown detail of what the Investment Club is all about. You can take a look at the caliber of deals that we've invested in over the last few years, and you'll also get a feel of where we see ourselves going together for the next 10 years together, all right? So when you are serious and ready to pull the trigger and join us now and start investing alongside us now, the next step is to go ahead and schedule a call with me, and that's the next link. But as Brian said, I only want to talk to people who are serious. If you don't see a time that's available on my calendar, please be sure to go ahead and send me a private message on Facebook Messenger. That's always the fastest way to get me. Or you can send me an email at martini@londonreal.tv and let me know who you are, where you're from, and the best time to get a hold of you within your time zone, and we'll definitely make it work. And for the last thing there, I know Brian did an amazing job of explaining what the Investment Club is and really gave you a feel, but we want you to experience this in real time. So that very last link there is for you to go ahead and join us on one of our live Investment Club calls that we're having on Mondays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. London time. So then you'll get to be in the arena with us. You'll get to meet our members. You'll get to see Brian in action. And it's just a really good thing. And also it just gives you a feel of, you know, if you want to invest with us for the future, all right? So we hope to see you on the inside soon. And back to you, Brian.
There we go. Martini, thanks so much for that. I appreciate. You know, this has just really been interesting because I feel like I've actually seen the club in kind of a different way today. And I keep looking at this as not just a way to create wealth, but also a way to kind of take your consciousness to the next level. And I was actually just on a call, Martini, with one of our members, John Boyle, for about 90 minutes, actually. Just catching up with him about investments, and he was wanting to know a little color about the market and what was going to happen this year with the ETFs and the altcoin cycle and all this. And he just closed out Metavisio as well, I think. And so, or almost closed it out. And then, you know, we started talking just about taking our lives to the next level. And he kind of watched the boxing match, and he was telling me about his history with kind of doing all these things. And he just said, you know, there's certain moments where when we make the decisions and we go into the fear, we become new versions of ourselves. And then that new version is stronger and better. And that new version of yourself won't be messed with the same way the old version of yourself does that. And I see so many members of our community, and you probably see it even more, Martini, when they join the Investment Club and they're here for 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months, they just become like more confident, more sure of themselves. You know, they understand now money. They understand what they're doing proactively for it. And, you know, they really rise up. They get taller. And, you know, I sat down for dinner with 25 of them in Toronto 3 weeks ago. And I'm telling you, just the energy of that table was so high. Everybody, there's so much love in the room. They were all like best friends, even though they all met for the first time, because they're all on the same wavelength, which is the London Real wavelength. And they're all taking their life to the next level. And they're all pushing themselves to be better versions of themselves. And there wasn't, it was weird. Once they all got started talking, there was not a shy person in the room, because they were all just these evolved beings. And that was everybody, including David Fusco, you know, he was just on point, you know, he was on point, and he was like It was just a beautiful thing to see. So, yes, we're going to create wealth here, but there's a lot more going on, and we're going to be with these same people here, for the next 10, 20 years. So it's really an opportunity to grow as a human. Martini, I keep thinking of this myself, like if banker Brian from 2008 and 9 would have been on a masterclass and met London Real Brian, I would have joined this program in a heartbeat, just to get access to a community, to a leader with a vision, to be able to partake in a really exciting new financial instrument, to be able to see all this deal flow. I would have been all over this, and just to connect with people and to be around people that are also creating good content. And then it's really special to be able to see the CEOs in the leather chair and to know that I had something to do with that. And so like today we had the CEO of Monoquant. On Wednesday, we had the CEO of Snowball Money, and our members are watching those thinking, I did that. And you did do that, because if it wasn't for the members of our club, we wouldn't have funded their deals, because it's a collective decision. So it's just a whole different way to invest. And I hope it's the future of investing, and it's an exciting time. So I just want to say thank you, Bali. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Kate and Sabir, for being here. Just appreciate you. And Dennis, always great to see you. Dennis, let's get you onboarded, please, with Martini. I sent you an email, Dennis. You didn't reply to me. What am I, chopped liver? I don't know, and so I send messages to people in the White House and they reply to me, but you don't. And so just saying, and so hit me back, book a call with Martini. She doesn't bite, as you know, you've talked to her before, and let's get you on board. I'd love for you to get you in that Metavisio and Snowball as well. And so that's it, folks. Just want to say thank you so much for being here. And I hope we see you on the inside on our next call. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. The mass scale transformation of humanity, the fully empowered, conscious, and cooperative species. It's something we live and breathe. We have a mission here. We want to help build the decentralized finance infrastructure of the future. What is your mission? Hey, it's Brian Rose from London Real. How would you like to join my investment club, where I teach you everything you need to know about early stage token and equity investments? Look, right now is one of the greatest times to invest in human history. We've got AI happening. We've got the metaverse that we built on AI, and all of this needs the blockchain, which is what we specialize in here. In my investment club, it's a 12-month program, 3 months of coursework where I teach you all the basics. I want to talk about how capital isn't enough, and I want to talk about how you can upgrade your arsenal of influence in a variety of ways. I teach you how to do basic due diligence. I teach you how to go to a conference and come back with 10 deals. Just go in, bam, 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 bam. This is super exciting, and we're able to do this here at London Real because I speak with some of the greatest guests on the planet. We have an amazing network, and we also have a structure to actually invest money in these deals. Just as a strategy in your business, just keep it simple, especially the first time you do it, but do it at the same time. I'm telling you, this is an incredible opportunity. I've got the best community in the business right now, 75 people from around the world in over 20 countries that are alongside, all investing together. And you can learn and network with the best in the business. No decision is much worse than a no. Something, action, action, action. The clock is ticking. If you're interested in this, click a link below and set up a call with one of my team. They'll walk you through what's happening, the opportunities, the requirements. But I plan on working with this group for the next 10 years, and we're going to do massive things here. And I hope you are a part of it. Click on the link and let's do this.